Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Be Perfectly Blended. If you've been here before, thanks so much for coming back. And if you're new, thanks so much for clicking on. In today's video, we are up at a cabin. I'm going to start by cooking breakfast. I am also making some chili for dinner. And I am cleaning the cabin as it's our last day here. So please join me as I get it all done. As I mentioned, I'm going to start by prepping some chili. I'm going to let this chili slow cook on the back burner for the majority of the day. So I'm going to start by browning up some hamburger meat. And then I'm going to go ahead and empty all my chili beans into the pot along with my tomato sauce. I'm also going to put a little spoonful of sugar in there since I did add tomatoes and some tomato sauce. And then I'll mix that together and I'll add the chili mix in. And then when the meat is done browning, I'll add that in as well. I also added a little water. I normally add some beef broth, but I didn't have any. And then here I'm adding the hamburger meat. And then I will just mix it all together. And like I said, I just let it slow cook on the back burner for the bulk of the day as I got our cleaning done. As I mentioned, we've been up at the cabin for about 4 days now. Well, this is our last day, and so I wanted to take the opportunity to do something easy for dinner. And while that's cooking, I can go ahead and get the cleaning done. But before I could do any of that, I needed to make breakfast. So this being our last whole day here, I decided to make some waffles, and we had a leftover steak. We barbecued. If you haven't seen my first video of us when we first got up at the cabin, go back and look at that. This is my third video. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start by prepping some waffles in this waffle maker. I absolutely love it. It's just like ones at hotels, so you can do both sides. And then I'm going to go ahead and make some steak as well. As I was saying, we had some barbecue the other night, and my husband picked up these steaks. They were so good. So I'm going to go ahead and put one of those in the frying pan here in the kitchen and make that as well. Here I'm just seasoning the steak with some pepper, a little bit of seasoning salt, and a little bit of garlic salt. And then I did add a little bit of that hamburger seasoning as well. It was super good. And then this waffle maker beeps when it's time to pull the waffles out or turn it. Here's how everything's looking. It smells so good in here right now. I'm so ready to eat. Of course, to go along with the steak, I must make eggs. So I put a little pat of butter here in the skillet. I scrambled up some eggs for my sons, and then I made 2 eggs hard for my husband. Breakfast was so good, and so now it's time to go ahead and start to get the kitchen cleaned up. It is right about now that you can start to smell the chili. It's starting to smell so good here in the kitchen. I'm just using these Lysol wipes just to wipe everything down, do a little disinfecting, and just get everything cleaned up as we're going to be getting ready to leave tomorrow. All right, here is how the kitchen is looking. I got the dishes done. Everything is wiped down. Here's the chili. I just gave it a quick stir. And so now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the bathroom. So here's a quick look at the bathroom. It's a very tiny bathroom. So I'm going to go ahead and clean the toilet. I'm going to wipe out the shower stall here and clean up the sink and the mirror. Hey. Now I'm going to spray down the shower stall here with these scrubbing bubbles, and I'm going to let that go ahead and set for a little while. And I'm going to come over and clean the toilet. I use the same toilet wand, the disposable, which I really, really like. They do a really, really good job, and they're just super convenient. So now that that's done, I'm going to come back and scrub down the shower stall. And I got to say that these scrubbing bubbles, in my opinion, work really, really well. So here is the overall look of the bathroom. It is nice and clean. And then you will see here in a minute when I step out and into the hallway, my husband and the dog are taking a nap. So I thought, well, that's the perfect time. Here they are, so cute, to go ahead and do the floors. So I do want to say that I did the kitchen floors here, and then I did go back with the Swiffer and do the bathroom floor. But as you saw, the bathroom is fairly small, so I didn't film that. I just went in and gave it a good wipe down. But back to the kitchen floor, here I am just giving it a nice sweep. And then I will go in with a Swiffer, and I gotta say, I really, really liked it. This is the Swiffer that just has the pads that already have the solution on it. So I'm not spraying anything. The pad itself is wet. And I think I will show that here in a minute exactly what it looks like. Yep, there it is. So I really, really like this. You just stick it on, and I feel like it did a really good job, especially with a little elbow grease, to get stuff, especially sticky things, off the floor. So I really enjoyed using it. Now I do want to say I did use 2 separate pads to do the kitchen here. This is our 4th day, and we've been coming in and out, and our dog, and so the floor was fairly dirty, so I did use 2 pads and then 1 for the bathroom. I also added a little bit of Pine Sol on the second pad. I just put a little bit down on the floor, so not on the pad, but a little bit of the Pine Sol on the floor and went in with the pad, and that just gave such a great smell through the cabin. And again, like I said, it worked really, really well. All right, well, now it's dinner time. I went ahead and put some hot dogs in the oven on broil just for a few minutes, and they taste really good. The chili, of course, was great. It smells so good. It just slow cooked all day. And once we were done with dinner, we just went ahead and hung out. My dog was just really loving her cabin life. You could hear her. She kind of oinks a little. Anyways, we just hung out here. We made some s'mores, and then it was time to leave the next day. So we just went ahead and got up early, packed up, and headed back on down the mountain. I want to thank you so much for coming along with me and my family as we went to the cabin. If you haven't seen Cabin Life, the first video or the second video, please go back and look at those. The first one has our grocery haul. The second one has some breakfast and activities we did. And please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next one.